And tonight, there are already reports about Democrats panicking about President Biden's performance. Political analyst Wendy Patrick joins us in studio with her insights. Good to be here again. Yeah. We were talking about this earlier. From a performance perspective, it's clear that tonight Joe Biden lost. And I say that because it was more about his performance, his stumbles, his lost moments. It did not land well.
They didn't land well, and I would have to say that the reason he lost is flash over substance. Yeah. Donald Trump looked good, he sounded good. If the volume were off, he probably would have been rated even higher because, of course, it's not the anchors, it's not their job to fact check everything he says, it's the other candidate.
Right.
But it was also about missed opportunities. I mean, there was so much that Joe Biden could have come back and just said, well, actually, you know, those aren't the facts. But in order to have done that, he would have had to have had a better game that night. And so I have to say it was, I think you phrased it very accurately.
His camp said he's been battling a cold, but if they're relying on that as an excuse for his performance, it's not a very good one.
No, and you know, competence and credibility, those are the things that voters care about. But they also care about believability. And what are they hearing every day? Joe Biden is busy running the country. Now they're wondering whether or not it's not more of a team effort behind the scenes, given what they saw.
And you're talking about believability. We talked about this. So if you listened and watched, you definitely would say Donald Trump came out on top. Absolutely. If you go back and look through the text of it and graded it on a fact check level, it probably Joe Biden maybe would have gotten a B, and Donald Trump probably like a D.
Well,
there were some whoppers. Babies are not killed after they're born. That's infanticide in every state in the country. It is not a thing.
Yeah, there were some outrageous claims that were made, and that's one of them. And, you know, one of the reasons we don't just give juries transcripts of what people said is because it's the package. It's how does somebody look? Sure. Remember, a lot of Americans consider the president as their surrogate, their representative to the world. And they want to be represented from a position of strength. And then you have to weigh that against, but were the outrageous claims because that's really what Donald Trump believes? Or is it bombast? Is it more the same that sometimes some people think got him elected in 2016? So looking at that package, you and I were talking about what would the chances have been of Joe Biden stepping aside before tonight's debate and afterwards, and you called it.
I told you before tonight, I would have said 0. Tonight, I said it's not 0.
It's not 0.
It's not 0 because the performance tonight was that startling from him. He did hit some policy points, but that may have been the problem. Maybe he prepared too much because he was trying to get out all these numbers and stumbling with them.
Right. You know, one of the things I noticed right from the beginning is he certainly had a lot of energy at the beginning, but the facts were coming out too fast. And anybody would have a hard time trying to front load to that extent. And it really didn't work out for him. And he ended up losing his train of thought. He and Jill are probably talking about that right now. And I think his performance surprised even some Democrats. So that's one of the tough conversations that they're going to have. But first, I think they're going to look and see how bad was the damage and can we recover?
We'll find out in the next few days. Next week, maybe. Who knows? Maybe in a week from now, it's a clear decision that he does need to do it.
Right.
Almost out of time. I have to ask, when somebody asks you, will you accept the results of this election, what's the answer?
Yes. And that should have been the answer to several of the questions because you can't really go any place from there. That's why I say it was missed opportunities. It's like a witness. If you're not listening to what they say, you can't then arrive from a position of strength. I don't know. You said the first debate. I don't know whether there's going to be a second.
Exactly. No, first and last, I would think. Yeah, I would think it's one and done. Wendy Patrick, thank you for joining us so much.
Thank you.
I think some people are going to ask themselves, why couldn't he just say yes? We'll see if it matters at all, or if Joe's performance will be the thing that really determines what happens moving forward. Appreciate your time.
Thank you.